Welcome back to Quickie Wiki What. I'm Joseph, joined as usual by my partner Justin. Every episode, we bring to the table a Wikipedia article we found interesting and discuss our findings. We are streaming this episode live on Twitch. Hello to the chat. But you'll also be able to find the VOD on YouTube afterwards, as well as the audio wherever you get your podcasts. Where do you get your podcast, Justin?
I do a little bit of Pocket Casts, and I do a little bit of Spotify.
Oh,
Mix it up.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
That's my favorite thing to say. Yeah, Justin, I saw you sipping out of your Jezebella mug.
My Jezebella mug. Yes, these are available. What is it on?
You gotta scoot it back a little bit.
Scoot it back a little bit. Okay.
Cafe Press.
Cafe Press,
I believe.
Yeah. It just searched doll wig.
Doll wig.
I think is what it is.
Something like that. And you can have that for yourself.
Yeah, and you can have a big shower curtain.
A bedspread.
A bedspread.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, what Jezebella is an extremely disturbing doll.
I want to hear you explain this.
Okay. An extremely disturbing doll that your grandmother, great-grandmother?
Grandma. Yeah.
Grandma who had, sorry to her, and it is haunted. Not only is it look haunted, but Justin has put a curly Shirley Temple.
It's like a Harpo Marx wig.
Okay. Yeah. Shirley Temple. Harpo.
Shirley Temple.
What's his name?
Harpo Marx.
Who's that?
That's like one of the Marx brothers.
Karl Marx?
No. Like Groucho. Groucho's brother.
I don't know who the Marx brothers are.
We're going to have to watch a Marx Brothers.
Okay. Wait, silent films?
Nope, they talk.
Oh.
It's good.
I prefer
really good.
silence. Well, so Jezebel is actually there's a huge chest behind Justin.
Yes, it's red.
It's one of the few pieces of furniture that Justin had picked out for himself that I've inherited since marrying you.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a nice chest, but it's very heavy, and I enjoy that she's locked in there.
Yeah.
And not available for us to see.
Shirley Tempo.
Shirley Tempo. Y'all don't know Shirley Tempo? Hey, that would have been better. She was on the beat.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up watching Shirley. I've never seen a Shirley Temple movie, but I grew up on Shirley Temple infomercials.
Oh, no. No, I never saw.
Animal crackers in my soup.
I mean, I know that song, but I didn't know it's an infomercial.
Yeah, they would sell the Shirley Temple collections.
Oh, okay. I thought she, as like an adult, did infomercials.
No, it was literally. So we had about 5 channels growing up, and at nighttime, I feel like every single one of them except PBS played Shirley Temple infomercials on repeat.
Infomercials. Oh, I miss them.
Yeah, they really were kind of comforting.
Yeah.
Okay. So today, what we're talking about. Do you have any show news? No?
Not really. No.
That's okay.
Just big thanks to everybody that checks us out across all the platforms. We have. We did have a really good comment. I'll try to remember it.
A good comment. Shocking.
Yeah, I know.
I'm shocked.
What a great shout out.
I'm just kidding. Love you, Chad.
Everyone that makes the comment, I do. I mean, I go through, and I think you do too.
Oh, yeah, I do. I read them all.
On YouTube and
yep.
Yeah.
Today, though, we will be talking about what we've decided to call the world's messiest marathon. So this Wikipedia article is actually called, the full title of it is Athletics at the 1904 Summer Olympics Men's Marathon. So it is the men's marathon at the 1904 Summer Olympics.
This is an Olympic event, although I think this was only like the third Olympics when the modern Olympics started.
Apparently so.
Yeah,
and this
1800s.
is this was the third appearance of the marathon event. It says, which is one of apparently 12 athletic events that have been held every Summer Olympics.
Every Summer Olympics. So this is
and now a marathon. What do you know about marathons?
So, I learned a couple of things by reading this article. What I thought I knew about marathons was wrong.
Oh, that they're supposed to be safe?
Well, but but one of the things is that today it's like a standardized distance. It's like 26 point something miles exactly.
Oh.
And back then they hadn't standardized it yet. So this marathon we're going to talk about was only like 24 and a half miles. But
no, more. It was 40 kilometers, 24.85 miles.
Yeah.
So almost 25.
But today's marathons are over 26, and it has to be
right
26.
Right. But yeah, this one 24.85 miles.
Well, there you go.
It took place. The Summer Olympics that year took place in St. Louis, Missouri, in the United States on August 30th. So, back then, I want to say August was probably cooler than it is now.
Yeah.
But this was not a cool day.
No.
It says temperatures were in the 90 degrees, and for whatever reason, they started at like 3 p.m.
Yeah,
they didn't start in the morning. They started at 3 p.m. in like the hottest part of the day.
Yeah, that is something that was very curious. And then they coupled with it. This is just kind of like maybe getting into the laying the table for why it didn't have a very good chance to begin with. Starting it at 3 p.m. and then also at the hottest time of the year. Normally you go to a marathon, and I've never run one, but you
run 5Ks.
I run 5Ks, but I mean that's like 3 miles, and this is almost 10 times that. At a 5K, they have like one place you can stop, or at least the ones I've run, one place you can stop, grab, like you run by and you grab a cup of water.
Oh, right.
This place in the whole 25 miles had 2 water stations.
One.
Well, one, but did you...
The only 2 sources of water. Oh, so there was a water tower at 6 miles and then one at 12 miles.
Okay.
So you're right. Apparently I didn't wiki enough. So, but I did see that. So James E. Sullivan, who was like an American sports official, he was the organizer of the Olympics, and this says he decided to allow only one water station. In the very next sentence, it kind of contradicts the first one.
Oh, that's
weird. It says the only 2 sources of water. So maybe he allowed one, and maybe there was a water tower already there, maybe.
Or if there's one station that they ran past twice.
Oh, potentially.
Yeah.
So there was one water station on the 24.85 mile course in 90-degree weather, and it was unpaved roads. Dust.
Unpaved roads,
dust everywhere. I thought this was weird. It said that, so James E. Sullivan, it said he wanted to conduct research on, quote, purposeful dehydration. So he was apparently, according to the Wikipedia article, using this as his own little science experiment to see what happens when you're purposefully dehydrated.
Dehydrated.
Spoiler alert, you die.
Yeah, it's not good.
Spoiler.
Another thing that's bad about these dusty roads is that, so they have people that are out checking and monitoring the racers, and they're
referees
driving around in cars on these roads, stirring up the dirt, dust everywhere. So it's like dusty to begin with, and then you're just like running behind this trail of dust. And we'll see that there were some people that nobody died, but there were some very some pretty bad.
There were some situations along the course. So do you want to get into some of these racers?
Sure. I think the first person to cross the finish line sounds like a good place to start.
Well, sadly, the first person to cross the finish line was not indeed first place. They got disqualified.
He cheated.
So Fred Lors was hailed as the winner, got his photograph taken with Theodore Roosevelt's daughter, was going to be awarded the gold medal, and then he was like, oh, just kidding. So what happened, he dropped out of the race after 9 miles, hitched a ride back in a car, waved at everybody on the way. The car broke down at mile 19.
And so then he gets out and then starts running again.
He re-entered the race. And then finally, when he was confronted, then he was like, it was just a prank, bro. And that didn't fly.
Yeah, they were like, you know what? That's a lifetime ban, buddy.
A lifetime ban, which was later reduced to a year.
And he ended up going on to win But it's like he wasn't being like sneaky about it. He was supposedly in the car. He was waving to people and.
Yeah, but I think that's taking it a little too far.
It's hilarious.
Almost getting awarded the gold.
You go, Fred. Fred Moores.
Exposing the Olympics 1904.
Sports hero.
Well, let's talk about the true winner.
But that's also, I think, kind of a funny sign that how effed up the referees didn't catch this guy that drove most of the marathon.
He might have been riding with the referees on the way back. I don't know. It just says he hitched a ride back to the stadium.
It's like, so
that's wild.
We're off to a good start.
But he's not even the most interesting one to me. The most interesting one to me is a few down. You want to talk about the true winner, Thomas Hicks? Well,
yeah. So Thomas Hicks, he actually won. But he really had, well, first off, today he would have been disqualified.
He was, doping during the race, it sounds like.
I wouldn't even say it's doping because.
No, but it is. I actually looked it up. So it was, he was given brandy, an egg white. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then strychnine.
Strychnine.
That's
like rat poison.
Which is rat poison. But I looked it up as a performance-enhancing drug. And I found an article on Gizmodo that talks about, like, researchers who self-administered it to, like, find the effects, which is...
Yeah.
It makes you feel restless. Well, first of all, it kills you, so don't do it.
Yeah.
Athletes would build up a tolerance to it so they could take amounts that other people couldn't. It would kill normal people, but it didn't kill them.
Oh.
But it makes you feel restless. And it kind of makes it so you're able to do more with less. Like your muscles are kind of spasming. But then also you have muscle spasms, death. Painful death, your muscles like twitch.
Well, then he said
it's very bad.
That he continued to battle onwards, hallucinating, barely able to walk for most of the course. When he reached the stadium, his support team carried him over the line, which that would be cheating today.
Does it say they carried him over?
Yeah, this is from holding him in the air while he shuffled his feet as if still running. So he didn't even make it all the way.
So that's a mess.
But then they said they had to carry him off the track. In this article, it's conjecture, but it says he might have died if he wasn't treated by several doctors right there. And he lost 8 pounds during the marathon.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, that's to lose in the course of, and it was 3 hours and something minutes.
It's almost like you go run for 3 hours and you need some water during that, particularly after mile 12, the second half of the race.
Some people did get a little more sustenance. In fact, some of the other racers. So now we'll there were some near fatalities with breathing in the dust kicked up. It caused some internal injuries. One being William Garcia of the United States. They found him alongside the road. I guess they had to help him from there. Yeah,
they just found him on the side of the road, because of all the dust inhalation. And what did you say? Yeah, something was with his esophagus or
internal injuries. Yeah, it says severe internal injuries. So dust really fucks up your body when you keep breathing it in. Now, my favorite, and I actually went to his own Wikipedia page.
Oh,
did you read about it?
No, I mean, this is my favorite part of it too.
So, Andorin Carvajal.
I think that's.
So, joined the marathon at the last minute. He was a Cuban postman, and previously, right before the race, he had lost all his money gambling in New Orleans. Hitchhiked to St. Louis, didn't have shorts or wasn't wearing them, and so he cut off the bottoms of his pants.
He entered at the last minute. So he just shows up in a suit or something, and then cuts down so he's got shorts to wear during the marathon. So he's running a marathon basically in a jacked up. Okay.
Now it says he hadn't eaten in 40 hours before the marathon. which doesn't seem
not a good
healthy.
training program.
No, not a good training program. You can talk about the peaches.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll just read it verbatim. So he said, not having eaten in 40 hours, he saw a spectator eating 2 peaches. He asked if he could have the peaches, and the spectator declined. So he's got 2 peaches. Andrain steals the peaches, and then runs away. And then he also stops later to eat some apples, which turned out to be
an
rotten.
Orchard or something. Yeah. They were rotten. And then he had to lie down and take a nap.
And he had to take a nap during the marathon.
Despite this, he finished in 4th place.
That's
He managed to eat rotten apples, get severely sick from that, steal peaches. In a suit. Take a nap in a suit. Wear a suit. You want a job? Wear a suit.
Yeah.
That's what RuPaul says.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
So I went to his Wikipedia page. This isn't the first, So he also represented Cuba in the 1906 Olympic Marathon in Athens, Greece. Let me tell you about this. The Cuban government funded him to go. However, he landed in Italy and then disappeared. He never made it to Athens. They thought he was dead. They published an obituary.
Wow.
But then later he showed up in Havana on a Spanish steamboat. So this wasn't, he kind of seems like he might have been messy.
I think I was saying they should make a movie about this thing. They should make a movie about this guy. They've
got a book about him.
Okay.
And he's been played in a TV series, I think.
Okay.
But no, he sounds like a real character. He was both a postman and a long distance runner. And so reading his Wikipedia page, it kind of sounds like he was a legend in Cuba, known for walking across the whole island and doing these long runs and stuff.
Well, he's a postman. You can practice. You just run, deliver
That's
mail.
true. And he did go on to I think he ran some 6-hour race, and he defeated American distance runner Henry W. Shelton in this 6-hour race in 1907. So it's not like he was,
Well, if he can take a nap and finish 4th place,
he must be running at some
he
kind
must
of
be
speed.
pretty good, yeah.
So then, of course, there were other messy things, not death casualties, but casualties of the heat and the dust. John Lorden, who'd won the 1903 Boston Marathon, got really ill after 10 miles. He dropped out. It says Sam Meller, who had won the 1902 Boston Marathon, also was overcome by the dust. Also dropped out, even though he was leading. So yeah, it didn't go well for most of the runners, and the ones who even did make it across did not feel good.
Yeah,
for probably a long time after they did it.
Well, and they said this was one of the. I'll talk about some more people. They have the 2 South African guys that they were the first Black Africans to be. So there was kind of kind of a little bit of Olympic history, and they both finished, which
9th and 12th.
So they were 9th and 12th, and the one guy, I guess, got chased by a dog off the course for 30 minutes, and so they thought he probably could have, he would have finished 30 minutes better at least if he hadn't been chased by a dog for a while. So this marathon, I think, is just really
wild dogs. Yes, yeah. Chasing. Yep.
Anytime you're kind of go off the course to do something else in any sporting event, you leave the event to go eat something, or to go steal peaches, or if you get chased off the course by a dog.
Sure, it was a mess.
Or if you just drop, I don't know, because of dust inhalation, you just drop and you're ill on the side of the road.
Their names were Lynn Tanyane and Jan Mashiani, just for history and their record. Now, speaking of records, none were broken.
Yeah.
What did it say that? Did you see what time? Is it so? The previous record was 2 hours 58 minutes 50 seconds. In Athens, Greece, which was in 1896. Now I think they did what, like, oh, here it is. But the marathon ended with the ratio of entrants to finishers 14 to 32. So 14 people finished out of the 32.
Less than half of the people even finished the race. Yeah.
Less than half. And it was by far the slowest winning time at 3 hours, 28 minutes and 45 seconds. Almost 30 minutes slower.
One dog chase.
Slowest.
One dog chase.
Dog chases, dehydration, and dust.
Yeah.
The 3 Ds. But there, I was really surprised to see. So at the bottom of the wiki page is a list of all the people who competed and the results. Almost all of them have their own Wikipedia page. Like, these are famous characters and or athletes. These are people who ran marathons, like, for a living. I mean, you're in the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it was 1904, but you still had to, like, prove you were good at running.
Yeah.
To go, you know. So yeah, but also looking at it, it looks like most people were from the United States, Greece. I see one France, South Africa, we mentioned, and Cuba. So I see some Great Britain's, Canada. But yeah, it was not as widely represented as the Olympics now.
Yeah, it's just, I think when they first started, it was, they had world fairs and things like that, and this was kind of
part
like
of that.
An athletic version that was, yeah, definitely not the fanfare that it is today.
No. You ran track.
So I ran track in high school. I ran the hurdles, and then I also ran some of the middle distance, like 400, 800, and the relay, mostly the relays for those. In middle school, I guess it would be.
Elementary school.
Yeah, I ran track in high school and in like 7th, 8th grade.
Oh,
but I went to K through
high.
8. It was K through 8, so it was junior high. But so that siren, quit chasing me, police.
They're after Justin. I don't even know if the chat can hear the siren, so they just think you're yelling at. No, yelling at the sky.
But I high jumped in junior high.
Oh, not pole vaulting though.
No,
right?
high jump where you just like run and then jump over a bar.
Okay.
I held the.
Wait.
Go ahead.
That's not hurdles.
Hurdles is when you run
and
on
jump?
the racetrack and you're jumping over. High jump is where you like run and you like flop over backwards and you're jumping up over a bar as high as you can.
Oh, it's pole vaulting without the pole. So lower.
But pole vaulting, you're going like your feet first over, and high jumping.
Oh, you go your head first over.
You can't. I mean, you can jump however you feel like, but everyone, you do the best if you go with your.
Did you
head.
land on your head a lot?
Well, but it's on a big mat, and it's like a huge fluffy thing. I mean, yeah, you land kind of on your neck,
Yeah, that can't be good.
But you're like landing kind of on your back and your shoulders, and you're doing it in a specific way. It's not like they're dropping you on your head.
Okay.
You have like control of your own body going over it.
Okay.
But I held the record in 7th grade for the whole parochial league in Wichita.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it? How high?
I don't remember. It was 5 feet something. Like it wasn't, and then I think like within like a few years, because my brother was at like a year or two later, someone like blew it out of the water, like they jumped a lot higher. Yeah,
that seems more I don't know, genetic than anything.
I mean, you've got to have. I mean, to some extent, like it's not like I trained for it. It's like I was just kind of good at it. And so, but you got to have, I think there's a genetic component, but then there's also, I don't know, within that, is a certain amount of coordination and technique, and you've got to practice because there is like a body movement. You have to learn how to do the right body movement and to figure that out and practice at it.
Sure. And be tall.
And yeah, there's definitely, I mean, that helps.
Yeah.
But I'm not like super tall.
What are you, 6 foot?
I'm 6 foot now, yeah, but I was usually one of the taller kids, but I wasn't like the tallest.
Yeah. I'm not taking it away from you. Don't worry.
Oh, you are. You're saying my
no,
7th
I
grade
know that
achievements.
you worked hard for that. You jumped high for that, and you had a record. And I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I had no records. I was in track for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Of the they gathered us all together at the first track practice. And they were like, okay, run around the track. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you can do. I ran. It was probably about halfway around the track, and that's where the exit gate was. And I ran through the exit gate and got my car and drove home. I said, this is not for me.
Not for you.
This is absolutely not for me. But I played tennis. I played basketball.
Oh, you did? I didn't realize.
I was going to make the team,
Yeah.
but I did not fit in, we'll say. And so I quit. But tennis I loved because you don't got to worry about nobody else but yourself, unless you're playing doubles. But I said, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to win.
Yeah. And you did. State champion 4 years in Arkansas. Look it up.
My college had women's tennis, but not men's tennis.
Oh, wow.
There was some kind of rule where like there had to be the same number of women and men athletes.
Yeah. That's
and so to make up for like football. So I didn't get to play.
It's a federal law.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
like titles. It's like one of the Title 9, Title 12 or something like that.
Anyway, sad about this marathon. I'm glad that, I don't know, do people get, I didn't know what a marathon was. I didn't know people ran this far. And it's exhausting to hear that someone would want to run 26 miles. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. But I guess people get water now, and that's fine.
Well, they usually did, except this one. It sounds like they would have water stations that lots of water that you could drink.
Well, I'm glad people don't have to run on dirt roads anymore.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts about marathons?
Not a marathon, but we're thinking about doing a 5K.
Oh, well, Justin does 5Ks.
I do, yeah.
You've done like 3 of them. I haven't done any, but I do try to run a couple times a week. I used to run 3 days a week consistently, but I haven't since like January.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to start running again, and Justin's convincing me to run in this 5K that's not in the summer. I will not be running in the summer, in October.
In October.
We will see what happens.
In October, we'll do maybe a little bit of like fundraising for it.
And 5K is how many miles? 3?
3.1, 3.2, somewhere around there.
I'm going to get there and I'm going to say, I'll do 3, take it or leave it.
There you go. Move the finish line.
I don't need this. I'll say, this is America. We don't use kilometers. Round it to whatever the nearest mile is.
Yep, round down.
No, 5K sounds better than 3 mi.
So you can bring some rotten apples. You see anyone peaches? You go get some.
I hate peaches. I would have just died on the side of the road.
We'll bring Piggy. He'll chase some folks around.
Piggy would run for about 2 minutes and then sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we taught y'all something about the 1904 Summer Olympics men's marathon.
I learned it. I loved it.
I thought this was a good one. I thought it was a nice little kind of messy one. I'm glad everyone survived. And, well, they're all dead now, probably. But I'm glad they survived their marathon.
Yeah.
Don't use doping substances.
Strychnine.
Strychnine. It's poison. And thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
As usual, all of this came from the Wikipedia page, but there is tons more information about this topic out there. Go check it out. And thank you for listening to Quickie Wiki What. Once again, you'll be able to find the VOD of this episode on YouTube as well as the audio wherever you get your podcasts. We will be streaming next week's episode live again on twitch.tv/halfmoonjoe. So we'll see you then with more wiki articles to discuss. Goodbye.
Bye.